Hey, welcome back. This is Fabulous Gian, and I will yield the floor to Coach Judith for day 2 of the free marketing clinic. Don't forget to check the description to read more about her. So I'll yield the floor. I am ready to learn something new. So, Judith, over to you.
Thank you very much, Fabulous, and welcome everyone. So today we have cost price breakdown. We simply want to break down is what you should have in the price of your product. But we'll start with what you currently have or what most business owners currently have, especially when it comes to product, right? Let me highlight this where I just highlighted. We look at it, you see cost price breakdown. The element most usually consider when we want to price our product is we ensure that we add the cost of all the raw materials we use, the packaging, cost of labor, and we add a profit margin. So that's what you have here. So we have the cost of raw materials, 3,240. That is all the raw materials that went into this product, all the packaging that went into this product, and the cost of labor. Then a profit margin of 750, 20 kobo. So that brought that product, just one product, not the whole batch, just one product to 5,900 naira, right? Now, on the surface, this looks okay, right? So let's just break it down a little more to see what happens. So just let's assume that this producer had an order to sell 1,000 items, 1,000 products, this particular product, right? So what will happen is at 5,900, no discount given, this product will bring her 1,000 units of this product will bring in 5.9 million. And if we just break it down to what it is on the pricing list, how she priced it, you'll find out that out of the 5.9 million, 3,240,000 will be for raw materials. The same thing, 1.459800 for packaging, and it goes like that for labor, 450,000, and 750,200 naira will go to profit markup. You see, it's straightforward. Then let's just give a little scenario. What happens in our businesses, right? So let's say during this given period, in a period of 1 month, let's just assume it's January. And so the 750, 200 came in as profit, while the other 3.2, 1.4, and 450 goes back into buying raw material, packaging, and for labor to pay wages. Then you have 750 to the business has 750 as profit. And so things like inflation begins to happen. So you're going back to buy raw material and you find out that it has slightly moved up. So the 3,240,000 will not be enough to buy all the required raw material. So you take a little bit, you take a little sum from the profit of 750 and add, you buy that raw material, right? Now, if packaging by any means goes up slightly, you take from this 750 to buy it, to make up and buy it, right? So, and normally daily expenses that fall under overhead, as they begin to fall due, you have to pay NEPA bill, you have to pay your, that is your light bill, you have to pay waste management bill, there's a little repair somewhere in the office, you have to do it. You pay from this 750. And let's say things like defective goods, some goods were not good enough, you realize that there was some spills and wastages during production, you spend from this 750 to pay up all of that. And you also have to keep something aside to grow your business, to not necessarily just expand for expanding sake. You need to move from making 10 cartons to making 12 cartons. everything is on this 750. And what happens after we have spent to cover for inflation, theft, defective goods, and our overhead, we'll find out that we don't have anything left. So that's what typically happens in our businesses, right? Because it shows us that price is beyond what that price, that amount you quoted to your for your customers. No, price is what holds everything, every money that your business needs to grow is right inside your price. So if you don't get it right, something will definitely go wrong, right? So we have seen this first case scenario. So let's look at what it should be that most business owners don't get right. So let's go with the profit driven cost breakdown. So for this one, every item or cost element you see in red, there are three of them. You don't have it on the left hand side. So you see there are other costs or cost of other materials that you overlook. Let's say someone in the skincare, after you look at your major raw materials, for instance, you have factored it in. What about things like that little organic oil that it looks like it costs nothing, but you needed to add just maybe few drops, and so you just overlook adding it because it's not a major cost material, right? That particular maintenance you have to do to make sure you're producing much. Let's use a fashion designer, for instance. You see, when they want to make a lot of, let's say, bulk production, that brown paper they use to cut patterns, it's not the material, it's not the fabric, but it was used, it was consumed to ensure that you get what you're doing right. You see, that those things or that particular brown paper is other material to that tailor, right? So let's use this same skincare producer. You need to use vinegar to wash your bottles. Vinegar is not part of what you produce or what you are using to produce, but vinegar was used just to ensure your bottle is sanitized and clean. So vinegar becomes the other material. So when you look through your process, your production process, you will see these other materials that we easily overlook. They have to be captured because they are a cost to your business. Whether or not you capture them, they will cost you something. And when you do not capture them and add into your cost of production, what will happen is when they get finished and you need to replace it, you will replace it from your profit. Whether or not you capture them does not matter. So that cost of other materials should be added. I just gave you examples. Then you will see safety cushion allowance, the second cost, right? Safety cushion allowance takes care of those things that happen that we do not have control over. I give you an example. You are trying to measure raw materials and mistakenly it spills. You see, that spill is a cost because what you're going to do when it spills is you're going to take more raw materials and leave the one that have spilled. So who pays for that one that have spilled, right? After production, there may be defective goods, right? A production batch might go wrong. Something just gets wrong and you pour out everything that has gone into trying to make that particular batch, and you go take fresh materials again and start up the production. When things like this happen, even theft, human error, when things like this happen, because they do happen, you are supposed to factor in the cost that will take care of them, right? So that's what safety cushion allowance is here for. Then you also see cost allocated per product. Now, I ask people, how do you take care? How do you get money to take care of your overhead? You see, your overhead is not part of the costs of what you're producing. Overhead are those expenses we make on almost a daily basis to pay for things like rent, NEPA bill, waste bills, maintenance in the office, you pay salaries and all of that. Those are your overhead. How do you recover the money you spend on these things? Naturally, like I explained earlier, we pay for all of this from our profits. But no, now there is this particular system that says every product that you make and sell and every service for a service-based business is supposed to bear the cost of your running of your overhead, and that is what we have captured here. Now there's a way to work out all of these things, but what we're doing here is just to break down to see what should be contained in the cost of a product, right? One product, not your whole batch, just one product. So if you look at these three costs, that is what we have added here. It's 500 naira for this particular product. This is 120 and this is 91 naira 50 kobo. If you add it up, it comes to this 720. I just want us to see the difference. So there's extra 720 to the 59. So if you look at it, this product here now becomes 6,620. Now, of course, it's easy to say, oh, mine is cheaper, but cheaper at what cost, right? This one is a little bit more expensive with extra 720 naira. But let's look at what that 720 will do. As I explained earlier, if this particular seller that has added every cost before adding a profit margin to her product, if she sells 1,000 items, if she has an order to sell 1,000 items, this is what will happen. So the whole item will bring in the whole sales, or will generate a revenue of 6,620,000. And if she does that same exact thing, taking 3.2, 1.459 and 450 into raw materials, packaging, and labor respectively, she's going to have extra, the ones in red. If you add this 500, 128 and 91 500, it will come to 720,000 naira, right? So in this case, in this scenario, this business owner has extra 720,000 naira to spend from. And so let's spend the same thing. So when things like inflation comes, right? Products, raw materials or packages goes up a little bit slightly, because these are the things we see every day in the marketplace, every day in our business spaces. And so when it goes up, she's going to start spending from this 720,000. So I want you to note that it's not an extra money. It's not extra money. It's a cost. It's just that you factored it into the product, and when it comes back after you make sales, you will still spend it. But what it helps do is it will protect your profit. So let's go on. So there's inflation, there's increase in prices of raw materials and packages. You spend from the 720. There are defective goods. There's theft, spillages, batches are getting spoiled. You spend from this 720, right? There is things like, okay, and expenses, or rather overheads. What you pay for overhead, you need to pay for salary, you need to repair something, you pay for your rent, you start spending from this 720. In a given month, before you are done spending this 720 and go start spending from the profit, you find out that the month has ended. That way, you see, the 720 has protected your 750, 200 naira profit, right? Now, someone might think that, oh, it's not that straightforward. Yes, it's that straightforward when it comes to money, because this particular business have captured every cost, right? And added it. You capture it and factor it into your product. Your profit will always be protected, because every cost that there is has been factored in and taken care of. And so when we, the customers, pay you that price that has covered your cost accurately and brought you a profit, when I pay you, when the other customer pays you, everything coming together, you will always have enough Yes, you always have that money with which you will cover this cost and many other costs as they come, while your profit stays relatively protected. But if you compare this with the first case scenario, when you do not add this factor in every single cost, you will start spending from your profit. And that's what brings us to that place where we keep asking, oh, I made sales, but I didn't see my profit. This is the simple reason. And quickly, let me talk about service-based business. You know, for services, there's this mindset that, oh, it didn't cost me anything to do. So you don't add anything. You just take your gut feeling, right? Let's use example, people, a business owner that's into this ticketing, this travels and tour space. You're just starting out small, small. So when someone asks you for a ticket, after negotiating with your suppliers, let's say the airline, the hotels, you just add from your gut feeling, let me just add a little 70,000. That's money that I made. That's some money you made. Remember, you're making calls, right? You're making calls, you're paying through your bank, they are charging you. Sometimes you pay okay, let's also add FX, that's the exchange rate. Well, by the time you put all of this together, and remember, you're spending money to buy data in your office or in your space or at home, wherever you're working from. You see, when you add all of these things, it comes to a reasonable amount, and you find out that your 70,000 extra 120,000 you just threw is soaked up, and you start wondering, where did the money go? I can't even pay myself. These are the kind of things that happen. You have not sat down to look at your service charge, what should be added. For instance, if your service charge, if you work it out and you say, okay, it's going to be 155,000. Inside that 155,000, you add the amount that is going to you, right? As a business owner, let's say 20,000. You add your overhead. No matter how small you think your overhead is, you add a portion for your overhead. You add a portion for all the back and forth. Sometimes you have asked this airline, they say, okay, we'll give you at this rate. Then you pay, they say, no, we're not giving you at this rate. Maybe do that back and forth. They will return the money, you will pay back. You see that simple back and forth. Check your bank account. They are withdrawing something for paying back and forth. You see, when it comes to the travel and tours, you are dealing with millions. That is really not your own. Yes, the client pays you, but you're paying this to suppliers. So the charges that the bank is cutting off from you is higher than somebody dealing 25,000, 40,000. So if you portion it that way, when the airline gives you ticket for ₦1,000,000, you add your 155,000 and you tell the client it's 155,000. When they pay, you have something for yourself. Just imagine you're removing 20,000. If you get 3 clients, that's 60,000 as your salary. So you see, these are the ways we have to do all of these things. So what I'm saying, bottom line is, I'm giving you a breakdown. But you see, when you do your proper costing and pricing, these are the elements we factor in, we look at to ensure that all costs is captured and factored in before we add a profit margin. And as I conclude, this also tells you that you can't copy anybody. Yes, it doesn't matter what the financial professionals are postulating. You can look at your competitors, you can look at the market trends, just use them as a guide, not your benchmark, not your standard. Because, for example, you do not know for sure what they factored in or what they overlooked. Yes, if you copy my pricing and I got it wrong, it then means you will be wrong too. In addition to the fact that my cost structure is not the same with your cost structure, right? So these are the things that I am trying to show, or I'm showing you with this breakdown. Pricing is beyond the price you quoted for your clients. No, it is what holds all the money you need to run your business and run it smoothly and profitably. Thank you, everyone. I hope this helps. And I'll be looking forward to your questions in the comment sections. Fabulous Julian, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Judith. We love this breakdown. In fact, I don't have any questions, and I believe that we will have questions in the comment when we go through this again. And it's not enough for us to go through this. We are showing you the mistakes or the things you skipped so that you spend time. That's why we have one day off. You spend time to now check as you're watching, pause and check what you have done. If it's not aligning, then come back to the group or leave it, drop a message in the comment. We will pick this and get back to you. So reflect on what you have done. Have you been doing the simple, straightforward, just 3 elements or 4 elements, or you are doing the profit? Yes, the regular, let's call this regular, the regular breakdown or the profit driven breakdown. Where are you? If you are not on any of these, please watch this video again and again, spot the gaps, and come back to the group to ask for help. Ask questions. Don't keep quiet. That is why in the group we have said, no shame, no forming, no pretense. You see what Judith has done? We don't expect you to be able to do this by yourself because it's not your core, it's her core. And that is why experts are there to hold your hands. If you want this, then reach out to Coach Judith and have a plan. We actually have a plan for you. We have what we call the done for you with you money and marketing system. All the things we're teaching you, we have a plan to help you. We will communicate this in full, but start getting yourself ready. After the 3rd day in class, we are going to show you what is available for you. Don't bother your head to say, hey, how am I going to do this? How will I know the cost I need to do, I need to put to allocate? No, Judith is here to help you. Coaches, experts, consultants are like the people you have if you play basketball or you play football. They are the experts. They are the one playing to win, but they have coaches. They have handlers that are helping them to win. In fact, to win their win, if you get me. So we are here to support you. We are here to help you make these things work in your business. Judy, thank you very much for this session. We look forward to day 3. So what's our topic for day 3? Just give us a little bit of expo. What's the topic for day 3?
Day 3, we're looking at proper costing and pricing, what it should be for product-based business, for manufacturing businesses, retail and service businesses.
Fantastic. Proper costing and profitable pricing for product-based businesses, service-based businesses, and retailers. So if you fall into any of this category, we look forward to having you in class. Please don't keep quiet in that group. Watch this video and tell us what your biggest takeaway is as a business owner. We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Fabulous.
Thank you.